Today it's snowing inches an hour, and of course that's when our pellet stove here decides to fail. It does this on an annual basis, but it always picks the best day to go haywire. And let me show you what I'm talking about. There's two motors in here. One feeds the pellets out of the hopper and one feeds the auger, and it's this motor here. It sounds terrible when it's running. This here just moves the pellets out of the hopper. That's not very stressful at all. All I've had to do with this over the years, buy a new motor, buy a new motor. I see these people have had the motors changed out in a box of parts. Simply two things. This is the original motor. I've never had a problem with it. What I'm going to do is, there's a hole here in this motor, a weep hole for the wick, just like a phonograph. I'm going to put some oil in there, and with it running, and you can't see them, but here and on the bottom, these bearings here, there's a grease fitting right there at the end of my finger. So I'm going to go get the grease gun, grease and lube this thing up, and it'll be quiet as a lamb. Okay, it's near impossible to do one hand, but I've gone ahead and attached my grease fitting here. Get some light on there for you if you could see. Gone ahead and attached my grease fitting here to the bottom. It should snap in. Now I'm going to give it a few squeezes of the marine grease to fill that bearing down in there until I see it. I like to see it coming out of it. There it is. See it coming out of it? I do that one there. I simply take it, put it up here, and the lesser working, and we give a few squeezes until you see the grease come out. I think my grease gun is running low. I'm not too concerned about the top one. I think I'm out of grease here. We'll have to get the other. I don't see any coming out, but I got a couple in there. So there you have it. That's all I do for the annual. Usually during major snow. And as for the holes here, there's only a weep hole on these bearings, on the bottom bearing. I'll tell you that each one of these took about, the bottom took about a whole pipette almost of oil. This one didn't go so much, just about half. You can swap these motors. People say put the lesser working one down, swap them out. That's certainly doable, but I hear already how much quieter the auger's turning. How much quieter it is. Oh, there is a little plastic dust cap for the fittings here. They usually fall off and are down the bottom here somewhere. I do have that. But that's it. That's what I do on my Englander, I don't know which model this is, the 25 pellet stove. Here we go. And that's it. Sounds nothing like it did prior. It was groaning, everything else. I did put a little oil on these little oil light bearings here. But mainly you want to fill the wicks on the bottom bearings here. Get some good grease for the main bearings there, and you'll be all set. There you have it. Okay, one last thing. I've gone ahead and attached the bigger backup grease gun here, so I'm going to show you again how I want to grease those. I'll do the top bearing. I already gave it a couple squeezes, just so you can see the grease come out of that bearing up there. I've already gave it a couple, so it's all you want to do to keep these motors healthy. Give them a drink of oil if you can, if your motor supports that. Like I say, the hole is right there on these motors. Little bath of oil there, and most importantly, crucial, to grease these main bearings right here once a year. There we have. I went and put my 8, I think these are 5/16 screws back in. And let's go over and show you the motor. So if we do a search of the motors for that stove, you can see you can spend anywhere from $58 up to over $100 for one of those motors. And I really feel the root cause is, let me show you what else. We got one here. $58, $10 shipping. So, alright, there are a number of non-OEM out there, and then you have this gentleman here, his YouTube videos telling you how his motor is superior. Basically all you need to do is you grease that that main bearing there, and if you're able to get any oil into these bearings down here, that's all I've done on this original 10-year-old pellet stove motor. No replacement parts. Thanks for watching. And here we are burning again, and you can hear that motor. It does strain, but it doesn't sound half as bad as it did prior. I notice when the motor runs, I might see a little increase in the current on the UPS, but we'll keep an eye on it. So here's just a few moments after the oil and greasing, and this thing is running just fine again. At the first sign of a noise, that groaning, you should get in there and do that. I let this go at evening, and it was making a worse noise in the morning. But yes, over there is not drawing any amount of current. It would go up a little when the motor was straining. But I'll call that a fix. You can hear the auger motor sounds much better. It's not drawing any excessive current. Thanks for watching.